All right, welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Rich Walsh alongside Paul Zeise. We're taking your phone calls tonight and your tweets, so send them in. Dennis just tweeted us, I want to bang my head against the wall, getting all that money. Bucks got back. Only an idiot would think the ownership cares about fielding a competitive team. When you see fans say this, Paul, it has to make you think that you're going to see a dip in attendance. Only way you don't is if they
listen.
I mean, imagine they went 400,000 last year.
What did they have? 1.6 million last year.
Something like that.
Okay,
yeah.
They'll be close to that this year.
You're probably right, because when you look at the schedule, it's hard to imagine them going below 1.6 million.
But and that's just it. I mean,
I could see 1.2.
They're going to be a
1.3.
team that's going to be competitive enough, long enough in the season that they'll. And you know what? They'll have enough weekend sky blasts and all that stuff. Now,
yeah.
if it goes to like 900,000, then there's a but it's not going to happen. I'm telling you, there's enough people that still buy their nonsense. Well, they had 3 wild cards in a row. What are you talking about?
I'm not buying their nonsense, but I would like to take my kids to a game. I like baseball.
I have no problem with that.
I want to go see a game.
I have no
a summer
problem
night, something to do.
I take my kids to games here and there. You know what I mean? I have no problem with that. My point is, people that are always fighting this fight that somehow, people that criticize the Pirates are wrong, that group needs to shrink. And if that group shrinks, then we've got a chance.
All right, let's go out to the phone lines. We're going to go out to Bob out in Clearfield. Where are you, Bob? I think you're right there. Line 4.
Hi, gentlemen. Thank you for taking my call.
Thanks for calling.
Okay, so like I said, I live about 117 miles east of Pittsburgh. But anyway, the comments that the players union brought up today certainly cast a negative pall over both the Pirates and the Marlins. But essentially what Nutting is saying to his fan base is, here, buy my product, regardless of how bad it is. I just want to make some more money. Derek Jeter, who's discovered now suddenly an owner, is saying to the Marlins fans, hey, come buy the product I'm putting out here because I'm drowning in debt. But you're talking about the Brewers. The Brewers, according to what I read today, said have the smallest TV market in the nation. But what they did last night was astounding. They go out and sign Kane, and as you say, they were able to get the much-coveted Christian Yelich. Now, this is, as you say, this very small market, and what they're doing right now is they're putting a huge disparity between the Pirates and themselves in this, from a competition perspective, and the Brewers have always been a hard time. The Pirates have had a hard time beating them, especially out there in Milwaukee. Now, because the result of this is not only is Nutting and being outspent, he's also being outsmarted, he's also being out-hustled, as we saw, I said yesterday with the Brewers. So those are my thoughts on it. I'd like to hear what your comments
appreciate it, Bob. The Pirates have the way they do business. They don't want to give up prospects, and I think maybe they hold on to them too long. That's what they've done with some. I wish the Pirates would have done something like this in 2015. Imagine the excitement for 2016 if they would have gave up a Glasnow and these guys and got someone like that caliber in here.
You mean brought in a real pitcher?
Yes.
I
remember. I was just saying this to Jeff Frisella.
How about re-sign J. Happ? Right? There's your first move, right?
Yep.
Bring in another pitcher that you probably, it doesn't have to be like a $20 million guy, but an $8 to $10 million guy, and then bring back Neil Walker and Pedro for the year. Everyone can say whatever they want to say about those two guys, but you let 48 home runs or whatever it was walk out the door for nothing and replace them with nothing, and yet a team that couldn't hit home runs.
I remember I was talking to Jeff Frisella about this, and I remember 2 years ago, you and I were sitting here on a Friday night talking about it, going through their starting rotation, who was going to be their pitchers, and we both said, I bet these are going to be the group of guys. And that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, and I mean, this year it's going to be the same. What's it going to be this year?
I mean,
Tyon is going to have to be your ace.
Nova.
Well, and Nova is there. You've got Chad Cole. I mean, Glasnow, is he going to come back?
Trevor Williams, Steven Brault.
Brault, I mean, it's the same cast of characters. I think that Tyon has a chance to be really, really good, obviously. Ivan Nova is what he is. He's what we saw last year, which is a, 4th or 5th starter at best that's getting old and can't go a lot of innings at the end of the, his arm gets tired by August. Chad Cole is...
You got the Joe Musgrove guy that you just got in that trade. We don't know what he can do, but I mean,
you got Colin Moran in the one trade. He's going to be your third baseman. I mean, look, it all adds up to a team that looks like they're going to win between 77 and 80 games. That's what it is.
And that's pretty optimistic, though, Paul. I was thinking about 72 to 75. I mean, but
well, it depends on their pitching, but
yeah, you're right. Let's go out to Lou out in Fox Chapel. What's up, Lou? Lou. Lou. You there?
Hi.
Hey.
A statement and a question. The statement is, not only do they make this money annually, but the gains and the value of that team, it'll someday be a nice capital gain. Question is, if they sell the team, is there anything to prevent them from selling it to somebody that'll take the Pirates out of Pittsburgh?
Well, I think they have a lease. I don't know the intricacies of that. They have a lease with the stadium for a while. I don't know how long that is.
Yeah, with the ballpark and everything else, I don't know if they'd be able to do that.
I don't think the Pirates, I don't even know if Major League Baseball would let that happen either.
I think there is probably no danger.
But I guarantee you, I would bet anything that if Nutty wanted to sell a team, he could sell it for $1.5 billion for someone that really wanted it.
Not that much. I mean, it's valued at $1.2 billion.
But hey, I think he would sell it for $1.5, don't you, if someone offered him that?
Well, he'd be an idiot if someone offered them and he said no. I think realistically on the market, he might be able to get $1 billion for it, maybe. I don't think he would get much more than that. I mean, the value is on paper.
Yeah, and I think a lot of
the value means nothing until someone says, "I'm going to pay you that."
I think this guy has a lot of money. He has a lot of money.
Oh,
he can afford to maybe lose some money.
You know the other thing about the Brewers that we're not even talking about? They're not done.
Yeah, they're in the mix for Yu Darvish.
They're in the mix for Yu Darvish. They're talking about bringing Neil Walker back. They're talking about, if that doesn't work, going out and getting Josh Harrison. Do you know why? Because they need a second baseman. So they're going to go try and find the best second baseman they can find. Imagine how that works. I don't understand how that works.
All right, let's go out to Tony, Wilkinsburg. How you doing, Tony?
Right, how are you?
Thanks for calling.
I just want to say, if they're not going to do right by the players, I think he should, like the one guy was just saying, I think that he should just sell the team, because to me it's like PNC.
Hey, he's making a ton of money. Why would you sell something where you're making a ton of money?
What I'm saying
right?
is, well, then in that case, then they might as well just PNC might as well just not gave them a stadium. They could have just kept Three River Stadium and just kept them there, because they're not bringing home no championships.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of frustrated fans.
Here's the funny thing. Today, Major League Baseball issues that statement that, this is why all these guys are all full of it. Rob Manfred was on ESPN with Dan Le Batard.
I remember that.
And Dan Le Batard, it got real heated between the two. But the one thing that Dan Le Batard kept saying and asking him, when you got Derek Jeter and his ownership group, and you knew that this was going to be a group that you might be able to buy the Marlins, did they talk to you at all about the fact that their plan would have to be they're going to cut payroll and sell off all these players and this and that and the other thing? And Rob Manfred could not give him a straight answer. Now, come on. You mean to tell me that you're going to let somebody come in and buy $1 billion property in your business and you don't know what their business plan is? You had no idea they were going to cut the payroll and slash and sell everybody off? Come on.
I mean, they're all.
And you know what?
All in this
that's
together.
one of the biggest crimes in this country. White collar crimes is what they did in that city to force that new ballpark on that city. It's a joke.
There was only one team that voted against the last CBA, right? Well, it was Tampa. Was the only team?
Yeah, I think. But
what I'm saying is,
they're all
in it together.
They're all getting rich.
They're all making.
But what happened in Miami? For them to, you got to just read about how they forced that on the Miami taxpayers and everything else, that stadium. Mm-hmm. Nobody wanted it. Nobody even wants that team there. And now you got a guy here who is selling everybody off because he's saying, oh, well, we've got debt. You just bought the team.
Yeah, and maybe they think Derek Jeter, he's the face of the franchise, that he will be able to attract people. But you got to put a winning product out there.
It's a joke.
All right, we're going to take a break. Back with more phone calls, maybe some tweets coming up next. Stay right there.